Name all the events at the first recorded Olympic Games in the year 776 BC.
Discus.
Have another go.
Javelin.
No, try harder.
Hammer.
Oh, dear, No, I think that way madness lies.
Running.
Yes, but running is the answer.
Running, there's
It's
running.
just one race.
Just one race.
And if you get the distance, I will be astonished.
200 metres.
That's damn close. It's very unfair. I think you've taken enough forfeits because there was just one event and it was 192 metres. Which is the modern equivalent. It's a stadium, which is the length of the stadium. And that was the only race in the first Olympic Games.
That was the Olympic Games.
The first recorded one.
Yeah.
But they later developed, and indeed included discus and javelin and all wrestling and boxing and all the things you've mentioned. But unfortunately, the first recorded one was just one.
When was the first recorded one?
776 BC. Now, the next question, which is a subsidiary to this first recorded Olympics, is what was the naked chef doing there?
Ding dong.
Yes. Was that a response to the buttocks or...?
Yeah, the fine pair.
For war.
Naked cooking for the athletes.
No, not quite.
Preparing meals for the judges. Selling food to the audience. Won the race.
Yes, quite right. The winner was a cook. His name was Coroebus of Elis, and he was a cook, and like all the contestants, was naked.
They all ran in the nude.
All ran in the nude. In the
How
nudie.
wonderful.
Even the trainers.
I would like to have seen the triple jump.
What about the pole vault?
Oh, don't.
Coroebus, of course, won by a short head. No, after his final spurt. No, shut up. Name the event in which Baron de Coubertin won his own Olympic medal. Who was Baron de Coubertin?
Was he the one who reinvented the Olympic Games?
Yeah, he's known as the father of the modern Olympic movement. Yeah.
And so he obviously set up one event that he's the only person who did, so that he could win it.
To give him credit, he did it anonymously.
Ah. So that's why he's wearing a false moustache.
How many events can you enter anonymously?
Not too many, I suppose.
Exactly.
But, so it's got to be something when you're hidden.
You don't need to be seen.
It's a race between pantomime horses, and he was the back end of one of the winning horses.
It's not as absurd as it sounds. I mean, there were some really odd Olympic events at the beginning.
You're completely hidden?
Well...
Tunnelling.
Yes,
Olympic tunnelling.
You're thinking of physical things, aren't you?
But
the Olympic Games was wider than that.
So essay writing or poem composing.
Poem is the answer.
Ah.
He won the gold medal for poetry.
Excellent. Shut up.
Oh, you think that's weird? All the way up to 1948, there was a gold medal for town planning in the Olympics.
Won by Milton Keynes.
Lost by Milton Keynes, you would imagine. But no, there were all kinds of artistic categories. There was sculpture, music, painting, literature.
Sculpture. And look at him go! The young Greek. The young Greek's mallet is flying.
The oldest ever medal winner was a silver medal winner, aged 73, in the 1948 engravings and etchings event.
Fantastic.
He was a Briton called John Copley. In 1900, there was a woman who won possibly the oddest event, a farmer's wife. It was the poodle clipping event. She trimmed 17 poodles in 2 hours.
Yes.
Can you imagine? She got a gold medal for it.
I'm sure she did. 17 in 2 hours. That's impressive even to me.
Yeah, isn't it? But do you know the reason they stopped doing the sculpture and the painting and the poetry and everything else?
It was something to do with the
drugs
and the sex test.
No, the reason they stopped was because they felt that it rather compromised the idea of amateurism, because it's basically all the artists and things would carry on being artists for the rest of the year, whereas the other Olympians, those who threw javelins, they held down other jobs. Who is the only athlete in the history of the Olympic Games to get a personal mention in the closing ceremony?
Achilles?
No, we're talking about the modern Olympiads.
Paula Radcliffe.
Olympus.
Eddie
Not
the Eagle.
Paul Radcliffe.
Jesse
Sorry?
Owens.
Eddie the Eagle.
Eddie the Eagle is the right answer. What year was it?
92? 88?
88 is right. 88 is absolutely right. And what was his discipline?
Ski jumper.
He embodied the spirit.
He kind of just
didn't
fell off
he?
the end of it,
Yeah.
didn't
Didn't
he?
he embody the
There
spirit?
he is.
Yes, there was nothing wrong with it. Look at this. Could you do
I
this?
couldn't do that.
And they all laughed at him. Look, why?
Well, you didn't laugh at little Titch, you did much the same.
No, because...
Yeah, if he could put his own hat on, that would be different.
Juan Antonio Samaranch, the leader of the IOC, he said, at this Olympic Games, some competitors, he probably said, but I'm going to go on any further, have won gold and some have broken records, and one has even flown like an eagle.
Flown like an eagle.
Like an eagle. Aquila. But sadly, they then legislated so that people like Eddie would not be able to participate anymore. They said that in order to participate in the Olympics, you had to be in the top 30% in your international competition, or one of the top 50 of the world, whichever. And so it closed the gate on inspired amateurs like Eddie, which is surely against the spirit of the Olympics. I mean, bless him, he had to wear glasses which frosted up. He was in a country which has no ski jumps. In England. He was just practising without having any ski jumps to practice on.
Just coming off the roof of his house.
Well, basically, I think he probably was. Why was he picked for the team, though?
Because there wasn't anyone else.
Yeah, because he was the only one who volunteered, which I think is absolutely wonderful.
Have a go.
But they've done... Now, who else was there who was double E? Not just Eddie the Eagle, there was another one a few years later. Do you remember?
Oh, there was a swimmer.
Eric the Eel. Eric
that's
the
right.
Eel from Equatorial Guinea.
People had to hang around. They were putting the lights out.
Well, bless him. When he arrived, I'm not wishing to sound patronising, but I just said bless him, so there's no way out. But he said he only learnt to swim 8 months before the Olympic Games. And he'd never seen an Olympic pool before he stood on the edge of one.
Got sitting and went,
Ready?
bloody hell. Miles.
Oh, well, there you are. It's right. It's Eddie the Eagle, who, despite his acknowledged entertainment value, resulted in a rule called the Eddie the Eagle rule that excluded colourful amateurs from the Olympics. Hard to imagine anything less in keeping with the original ethos of the game. Eskimo Indian Olympics have been held every year since 1961. Phone books not involved, but these are more toys for you to play with. Voila, voila. And I'm afraid you're going to have to prepare to get a little bit sticky. These lubed rods here, which are very icky.
Trying to get me to do this for years. Sorry, Stephen, but this contravenes my super injunction.
All you have to do is try and work out what the sports are in the World Eskimo Indian Olympics, as they're now officially called.
Well, that's obviously...
You can play it with Brian. It's actually... each one of these games is like most games, is there really basically to hone the skills you need for the environment in which you live.
Is this a two-person game?
It's a two-person game.
Is it fire?
Is it fire?
No, leave the string for the moment and grab the stick and... It's all right. It's very
Is that what I
helpful.
think it is?
No, you have to do it with your hands. No. That's it.
Like
And
that.
it's the one who can basically, without twisting or jerking, the one who can get the stick off the other.
Oh, Christ, I've got no chance.
Sean won. There you can see them doing it. Go on, have a go. There you go.
Right, this time you're going on the floor.
There you go.
Now, you're holding my hand there, Brian. Oh, sorry.
I've only got a
No
little
twisting or jerking.
I think you're on one side. You're on one side. You're on...
My hands are too big.
Can you go... Oh, look, eagle.
No twisting or jerking. And we have a string game yet to play, which is another game.
Let me guess, we have to wrap it round our balls.
No, you don't. You do have to wrap it around an organ.
Oh, that's it.
Fortunately, not an organ of generation. An auditory organ, one of your ears. Each wraps it round the ear. You wrap the other end down your ear, and you pull. Like so. Go on, boys. Be brave.
What about your ear?
It's a pain endurance test.
I'll go around the other ear.
Oh, look what happened to his ear. I don't want that to happen to my ear.
As you can see from the photograph, it's endurance and pain are really the... you've got glasses on, of course. I don't know if that helps. Hello.
springy
Is
is.
that an advantage or a disadvantage?
I think it's a disadvantage because they're very, very springy.
Yeah. I declare the winner there, Brian, and who's been winning on your side?
Yeah. He's got it
You've turned
tied
it
in
into a
his hair.
plait.
I cheated, look, I tied it.
You definitely cheating. These are official sports of the Eskimo Olympics. Where were the first modern Olympics held? Still on Olympics? Yes.
1896 was the first year,
Yeah.
and I believe it was Athens.
No. It's not correct, I'm afraid. No.
Was it in Greece, though?
No, it wasn't in Greece. I'm sorry about that. No?
Was it London?
No, you're in the right country, though.
Damn.
If you've got the place, I'd be very surprised. Johnny might, if I were to say A.E. Houseman, you might get the place.
Salisbury?
Nope.
Shropshire.
Shropshire is the right answer.
Shropshire, Edge.
Much Wenlock, as in on Wenlock Edge.
Wenlock Edge,
The town of Much Wenlock from the year 1850 held Olympic Games. It's an extraordinary man called Dr. W.P. Brooks.
1896 was the first Olympics.
And so people suggest, but Baron Coubertin, who was the founder, supposedly, of the modern Olympic movement, and he wrote about W.P. Brooks. Much Wenlock is a town in Shropshire, a county on the borders of Wales, and if the Olympic Games that modern Greece has not yet been able to revive, he wrote this in 1890, Coubertin, still survive today, it is due not to a Greek, but to W.P. Brooks. It is he who inaugurated them 40 years ago. And it is he, now 82 years of age, still alert and vigorous, who continues to organise and inspire them. So Coubertin came to Wenlock Edge, and he, being a baron, having influence and political connections, was able to do what this little country parson was not able to do, which was to get the rest of the country, the rest of the world. But King George I of Greece, of the Hellenes, sent a silver medal to be a prize at the Wenlock Olympics. So for 46 years before the first Athens Olympiad, as it's counted, there were Olympic Games that are recognised by the very man who is known as the father of the Olympic movement.
Gosh.
So let's hear it from
That's
W.P.
wonderful.
Brooks. But he died just a year before the Athens Olympics. So there we are.
2012, Hackney.
Yeah, could be, couldn't it?
Could be Hackney.
Could be, yeah.
Nothing
Yep.
wrong with Hackney.
What
I
a
live in
shithole. Kayaking down the Lee River.
I used to live in Hackney.
You can develop film in the Lee River, but you can't kayak.
Which international head of state snubbed Jesse Owens after his triumph at the 1936 Olympics?
Oh, go on.
Yes, Jack.
Hitler.
Oddly enough, it's not true. It's what the whole world thinks, but it isn't true. And we know this from no greater source than Jesse Owens himself. In fact, it's a really rather sad and a very typically, I'm afraid, unfortunate story. Jesse Owens, as you probably know, won 4 gold medals at the 1936 Berlin Olympics. The Olympics were stage managed, of course, by Hitler. Now, on the first day, Hitler congratulated only German winners. And someone said to him that he should either congratulate all the winners or none of them. So he said, well, in that case, I won't congratulate any winners. So as it happens, he didn't personally congratulate... He didn't personally congratulate Jesse Owens. Were you looking at there?
The bloke on the far right is just going like that.
That bloke on the far right
To be fair,
is
I
called
think-
Hermann Goering.
I think surely they're all on the far right.
They're all just taking bets on how high the high jump was going to go.
The one on Hitler's left thinking I didn't get the memo. I didn't. This
How
stuff.
to dress. Well, no, it is rather
Dr.
sort of,
Dre.
as they say, Hitler decided on the second day that he wouldn't congratulate anyone. So he didn't snub Jesse Owens at all. In fact, according to Jesse Owens, he said, when I passed the Chancellor, he arose, waved his hand at me, and I waved back at him. Hitler didn't snub me. It was... Who snubbed him?
So Hitler wasn't such a bad guy after all.
No, it's not that. It's not that.
The jury's
It
still
doesn't-
out.
Hitler is, we know, is bad. It just so happened he didn't snub Jesse Owens.
King of England.
No, FDR.
Oh,
The
bastard.
president of his own country. Now, it's really, this is a terrible story here. It was FDR who snubbed me. The president didn't even send me a telegram. He won 4 gold medals. When I came back to my native country, after all the stories about Hitler, I couldn't ride in the front of the bus. I had to go to the back door. I wasn't invited to shake hands with Hitler, but I certainly wasn't invited to the White House to shake hands with the president either. He had to use the goods lift of the Waldorf Astoria
to get into the reception for returning US athletes, as he wasn't allowed to use the front door.
So Sammy Davis Jr. couldn't go in the front door of the hotels in Vegas where he was performing.
I know. It is simply
He
astonishing.
had to go through the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that still happens to me, though, sometimes.